afternoon, top fans and followers of Araneta City. Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. I am Jill Ngo, your host for today, and welcome to the Heroes in the City online Mother's Day celebration. I would like to say that our hashtag is Heroes in the City with special emphasis on the first three letters. That's HER. We are honoring all the mothers out there. And of course, I would like to greet my own mother a happy Mother's Day, and also my mother-in-law, Betty Limpengo, and Mrs. Milagros Crisologo. Happy Mother's Day. Now, this is part of Araneta City's series of online educational and insightful program dedicated to our mothers from today until tomorrow. We will be joined by professionals who will teach us a lot of useful things. So be sure to catch all of these. So today at 2 p.m., we will be having the nutritional and health tips for mothers and pregnant moms. And later on at 5 p.m., a skin maintenance workshop for moms. And tomorrow, May 10 at 3 p.m., we have a cooking show with Clara Olay. And on May 10, 5 p.m., a talk with mompreneur celebrity LJ Moreno. Now, as part of our celebration, we will be giving away amazing prizes to some lucky online viewers. Now, how do you join the raffle? First, you just have to tag 3 of your Facebook friends who are already mothers at the hashtag Heroes in the City in your comment. It is spelled HEROESINTHECITY. And one winner will be selected after our online program, and he or she will win a grocery pack. Now, isn't that exciting? You get to learn new things, plus you get a chance to win exciting prizes. So be sure to stay tuned to our online program. Also, if you have questions for our guest speaker today, feel free to post your questions in the comment sections, and we'll try to answer them after the discussion proper. Now, for our first Heroes in the City online program, we will talk about nutritional and health tips for mothers and pregnant moms. We are joined by a very prominent doctor in her field. She is a fellow in Philippine Obstetrical and Gynecological Society and a fellow in Philippine Society for Gynecologic Endoscopy. She is a medical specialist with the Department of Obstetrics and Gynecology in East Avenue Medical Center, as well as a consultant staff in Dr. Jesus Delgado Memorial Hospital. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Dr. Leila Baroña, MD.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi, good afternoon.
Hello
Good
po, happy Mother's Day.
Hello. Happy Mother's Day to you.
Yes. Kumusta naman po?
Mothers out there.
Yes. Kumusta naman po kayo ngayon?
Doing fine naman. I'm okay.
Yes. Thank you so much for being our heroes in the city.
Okay, you're welcome. It's a pleasure to be here and to share some tips with you and all the viewers.
Yeah, so you can go ahead po. You can start with your workshop for today.
Okay, I have a short presentation.
Yes, okay po.
So,
Okay na, wala na.
okay, so this is about nutrition in pregnancy. Of course, this is a very broad topic, but I would just like to discuss it in a nutshell. Yung mga essential portions lang.
Actually, baka matawag.
Ayun.
Come back and help.
Okay.
You wanna wait for me now?
So, okay. Very important na the mother should be healthy, because if we have a healthy mother, we would also have a healthy baby. So during pregnancy, the baby depends on the mother's good nutrition for proper growth and development. So the mother's eating habits usually affect the baby. And the proper food choices of the mother and the well-balanced diet during pregnancy will prepare your baby for a lifelong health. So the mother should be very careful with the food that they eat, their eating habits when they're pregnant. I would just like to mention the first 1,000 days of life. So it was found out that in the child's development, the first 1,000 days of life is the most important. And 270 of the days of this first 1,000 days is spent by the baby in the mother's womb. So, ang nakita nila is that development of the baby would depend on the proper nutrition of the mother during her entire pregnancy. So, the importance of weight gain in pregnancy, which will be brought about by intake of proper nutrients, would be that it contributes to the development and growth of the baby's placenta, amniotic fluid, uterus, blood supply, and fat stores. There's an ideal weight gain in pregnancy. So here in this table, I just wanted to show the different weight gain ranges for a certain BMI of each mother. But yung computation of the BMI, just leave that to your OB when they come to you, when you go to them rather for consultation, kasi we usually compute the BMI and see if the weight gain is enough. Pero more or less, for the female who has a normal BMI, yung weight gain for the entire pregnancy is 25 to 35 pounds. So, it's not really, yung number hindi ganun ka-importante because some patients would ask, Doktora, 110 na ako ngayon o 112 na ako ngayon, tama ba itong weight gain ko? Tama ba itong timbang ko? Ang tama po is what is the weight gain from the first time, first month of pregnancy and up to that portion wherein they were examined at the clinic. So yun yung mas importante, yung weight gain. So pregnancy is not the right time to diet or lose weight, as you may deprive your baby from getting the proper nutrients in the process. No? So yung mga nagiging conscious about early in pregnancy that they might be gaining some weight should always think of the baby first. No? Basta they're eating the right way, hindi naman sila tataba ng todo-todo that they will find it difficult to slim down after pregnancy. So this more or less shows you the months within the first, the second, and the third trimester of pregnancy. During the first trimester, the pregnancy would, which involves from the week 1 to 13 of the pregnancy, 0 to 4 pounds lang yung weight gain. No? So hindi pa masyadong obvious yung paglaki ng tiyan ng mommy. And usually, the weight gain of 1 pound per week would occur from the second to the third trimester. So that's already from week 14 to the 40th. 40th is the end of the pregnancy. So yun yung ika-9 months of the pregnancy. So all in all, pwedeng mag-gain sila ng mga 25 to 35 pounds. So some would gain a little more than 1 pound per week. But based on their BMI, allowed pa rin naman yung more than 1 pound as long as it's within the range allowable for their BMI. So, things to remember, how many calories do we need? So, ang myth is we should eat for 2. It's not right, no? We will not eat for 2. The increase in the intake of calories should be gradual. So, for the first trimester, we don't need extra calories. For the second trimester, na nagde-develop na yung baby ng mas matindi, mas nag-gain na rin siya ng weight, we need to add 300 to 350 extra calories per day. And during the third trimester, more than 450 calories per day should be added. So all in all, the daily calories should be around 2,200 to 2,500 calories per day. So this extra calories should come from nutritious food such as lean meat, low-fat dairy products, fruits, vegetables, and whole grains. Wait lang. So, Trixie, wait lang ha. Ano yun? Nag-fast forward siya eh. For a while. It should be... Okay, so, forward. And then, another. So these are the daily nutrient requirements, sorry. So we need protein, folic acid, iron, calcium, vitamin D, vitamin C, and iodine. Usually, pag sa mga supplements, calcium and vitamin D can be found together already. So, folic acid, bakit importante to? Folic acid enhances the baby's brain development. It prevents neural tube defects and helps in the blood production during pregnancy. This is the same for DHA, which is an omega-3 fatty acid. It also helps or plays an important role in the baby's brain and eye development. So that actually we are encouraging those women in the reproductive age who intend to have children to at least start taking folic acid and DHA even prior to their pregnancy. So if they're already planning way ahead yung time ng pregnancy nila, mga 3 to 6 months prior to that or even earlier, they can already have supplements or increase their intake of food which is high in folate and DHA. So, there's a misconception, I would just like to mention, that ito yung nagpapabuntis. So, hindi po nakakabuntis ang folic acid and DHA. These are just supplements to ensure that we will have babies who will not have congenital anomalies, especially involving the nervous system. So, the baby also needs calcium. So, dapat may intake din ng calcium yung mother. So, it helps develop baby's bones, teeth, muscles, heart, and nerve function. So, vitamin C is also essential for wound healing sa mother's side and helps also sa development ng babies ng teeth and bones. So, dun sa slides, maybe this can also be shared na paulit para makita in detail the different types of food which are rich in folate, DHA, calcium, and vitamin C. So protein also helps in the development of baby's tissues. It also helps develop and repair breast tissue and uterine tissue and muscles during pregnancy. And fat is also essential because it gives energy and helps make your baby's organs and placenta. And polyunsaturated fatty acids help with your baby's brain, nervous system, and retina development. So, all in all, nag-overlap yung functions ng mga iba't ibang essential nutrients which the baby would need. Iron makes hemoglobin, a protein in red blood cells that brings oxygen to your tissues. The amount of blood in your body increases during pregnancy, so that iron is needed to make the baby's blood supply. And iodine helps to develop your baby's brain and nervous system. Enough iodine will make your baby move, think, and feel. So, aside from iodized salt, we see here in the picture the different sources of iodine. So, translating this into what we should eat every day, sa folic acid, which is there should be a supplement or it's taken from food 3 months prior to the pregnancy and for the first 12 weeks of pregnancy. It can be given in tablet form aside from the food that I showed already earlier. And then vitamin D supplement, and then this usually comes with your calcium. Then 3 to 5 portions of whole grain cereals, breads, and potatoes. 5 to 7 portions of fruit and vegetables per day. 3 portions of low-fat dairy per day. 2 portions of meat, fish, or meat alternatives. So yung mga beans, mga ganun, per day should also be given. Sweets should be limited. Salty snacks and sugary drinks should be limited as well. 1 to 2 times a week. I usually tell my patients cheat day na lang on Sundays wherein they can take in a little more sweets and salty food than the usual. Then they can also get DHA from oily fish. So that's usually salmon, mackerel. So sa mackerel, meron naman sa mga sardines din mackerel, pero mas maganda yung fresh. And it should be taken 1 to 2 times a week. And kung wala yung mga ganitong fish, kasi medyo mas mahirap hanapin and may a little bit more expensive, then we also have DHA capsules. No? And then at least 8 glasses of water per day should be taken. limit caffeine to 200 milligrams per day. But generally, most OBs would tell you not to take caffeine at all. So if you're a coffee drinker, shift to something, to milk na lang siguro during your pregnancy. So if all the food that we eat seems to have all the nutrients uh, that we need, why do doctors still prescribe prenatal vitamins when essential nutrients are found in the food that, as I said, that we usually take in? So doctors still give these vitamin supplements, which changes from every trimester of pregnancy to ensure that a pregnant female gets all the essential nutrients she needs. Kasi sometimes because of our work schedule, or right now because of this pandemic that we have, and we have to stay at home, and sometimes our food is just limited to canned goods, or yung mga parang noodles, mga ano siya, mga ready-made food. We need supplementation kasi the mother has to prepare herself not only for her pregnancy and for the development of her baby, but also for breastfeeding. So, foods to avoid during pregnancy. So here we have a list. Usually, food safety during pregnancy is observed. So dapat we should not take raw yung mga seafoods, undercooked eggs, raw sprouts. Usually it's the raw food that we avoid kasi if it's not prepared very well, then here we can see that there are different types of bacteria which may develop. And from this bacteria, the mother might develop the full-blown infection and might possibly transmit it to the baby. In addition, if the mother gets infected during the early stage of her pregnancy, this might lead to congenital anomalies. So, ang important is to clean yung food natin, avoid muna yung mga raw, pati salads, avoid muna. And then separate the different types of food kasi minsan yung pag-spoil nila would be different per type of food. Cook them well and chill the food whenever you have, let's say, leftovers, you're not going to take them anymore, but you intend to go back pa the next day, lalo na at this time of our pandemic. So kailangan properly stored din yung food natin. So what about food cravings? No? So pag buntis kasi, usually merong mga certain types of food that we don't want to eat. No? That's because of the hormonal changes in the body. So parang sa first 3 months of the pregnancy, some women would not like to eat, let's say, meat. So if they wouldn't want to eat meat, they can shift to protein sources like beans, nuts, and eggs. And they can add sauce to the meat itself para ma-cut down yung metallic flavor of the meat. Then, for the dairy products, usually we encourage them to take milk. Personally, although low fat talaga is allowed, pero siguro dun sa first part of the pregnancy, it's better to take the whole milk na lang. But if they cannot tolerate, then they can take other calcium sources like dark leafy vegetables, or siguro the other dairy products like siguro cheese. Sometimes mothers don't like to drink milk, but they can eat ice cream, yung mga ganun. Or they can also take fortified orange juice. Then for leafy green vegetables, if mothers cannot take the vegetables, then they can go for the orange and yellow vegetables or fresh fruits. So let's say, meron kang craving, let's say for chichirya, potato chips, soda, and candy. Let's just try to be more creative. So instead of potato chips, which has a very high salt content, we can make our homemade chips, no? Out of kamote or banana, and then i-deep fry na lang natin sa vegetable oil if pwede, no, wag yung animal fat. Then we can also take low fat pretzels or biscuits. And then instead of soft drinks or soda, we can take water and put a slice of lemon or dalandan or calamansi sa water. So it doesn't have naman to be lemon all the time. Mas madaming makukuha na dalandan or calamansi. Some would also put cucumber, yung sliced cucumber, so pwede rin yun. And then instead of candy, we can take dried fruits. And then, if you're craving for spices, you can change it to some salsa or sauces, which may be less spicy para hindi maka-induce ng heartburn or makapag-worsen ng hemorrhoids. Then sweets, instead of the chocolates, then we can take in fresh fruits. And if you want something crunchy, so nag-crave ka na naman ng mga snacks, ng mga like potato chips, you can go for the fruits which you can cut in slices and chill, like carrots, celery, cucumber, and even yung nuts. Okay, so may special issues lang akong i-discuss which affects the nutritional intake of women. So yung isa, yung morning sickness or what we call hyperemesis gravidarum. Ito yung condition wherein usually 8 to 10 weeks of pregnancy, the pregnant woman would usually vomit all the food that she eats, or sometimes she's so nauseated. Minsan the experience is so terrible that she would just simply refuse to eat. So, though may vitamin siya, minsan yung vitamins na yan, she also vomits that. Or the vitamins is not enough then to cover for all the meals that she missed, no? So, ano yung tips to combat morning sickness? One, avoid strong smell, so dapat laging breath of fresh air. And then eat crackers, cereals, or pretzels before you get out of bed. So meron na within reach muna, no, para pag from getting up in the morning, hindi ka nabibigla with your parang medyo mas acidic pa at that time. And then uh, eat ginger and lemons and lemonade to soothe your stomach, pero hindi very strong yung timpla kasi syempre the lemon, citrus fruits can also irritate the lining of the stomach. So medyo dapat parang ano lang, enough to flavor the drink, no? Or the if you're taking slices, konti-konti lang talaga. Then drink small amounts of fluid during the day. So sometimes some women would vomit if they take in the whole glass of fluid, but if they take it in cold pa na unti-unti, then that would make them retain more the fluid that they take. Sometimes nakakatulong din yung magbabad ng ice chips, no? So you have small ice chips which can also avert nausea and vomiting. And then, yung iron pills, kasi meron silang parang certain metallic taste, minsan merong smell, so you can take it at bedtime. Don't skip meals, kasi the longer na mag-skip ka ng meal, mas napoproduce yung gastric juice, so mas nakaka-trigger na naman ng nausea and vomiting. Then, stay in warm places, feeling hot. Don't stay in warm places. Feeling hot induces nausea. Don't lie down immediately after eating. Don't eat spicy or fatty foods. They're hard to digest. Don't forget to drink. Dehydration worsens nausea. And let the condition go untreated as much as possible, not unless lang yung sobra-sobra na talaga na parang lumalabas na is the greenish bilious fluid. We don't really give medications to control the vomiting kasi eventually when the beta-HCG titer goes down, that's the hormone of pregnancy, medyo magsasubside din naman itong mga nararamdaman ng mommy. But we watch out for electrolyte imbalance. So pag sobrang severe yung vomiting, you're already feeling weakness, then you should go see your doctor already because you might have to have rehydration, either orally kung matatolerate or sometimes kailangan ma-IV fluid. So, another condition is heartburn. So, yung heartburn kasi, especially pag bigger na yung tiyan, parang laging may acid na umaakyat sa lalamunan mo. So, that causes irritation. Uh, so, to avoid that, dapat small frequent feedings, yogurt or glass of milk can also help. You can eat slowly and chew enough, no? And then parang ini-enjoy mo naman yung kinakain mo para din mag-grind siya ng gusto before it reaches the stomach, so hindi mahirap i-digest. Avoid spicy, rich, and caffeinated foods. And avoid yung drinking na to would be more of drinking siguro mga alcoholic and mga sodas during meals kasi mas nakaka-trigger siya. And then usually, yung talagang drink of water should be after the meal already. And then of course, after the meal, upo muna for a while, no? Even naman if we're not pregnant, we do that. Sit upright for a while before lying down. So what about milk tea? Kasi uso ngayon to. A glass of milk tea would have caffeine, although less than 200 milligrams, so some would allow it. Pero sabi ko nga, I discourage caffeine talaga sa patients ko. And then, may milk din siya, okay naman yung milk, pero siguro kasi commercially made, we don't really know what milk they use. No? So, kung ano yan, high in trans fats, then hindi rin siya okay. Kasi nakaka-raise din ng cholesterol level. And then, lalo na yung syrup. No? If you really crave yung syrup, pwede mo naman yung 0% kasi napakataas talaga ng sugar content niyan. And what we also want to avoid during the pregnancy is for us to develop gestational diabetes, mga ganyan hypertension, pregnancy. So, we try to cut down on food na sobrang high in sugar also and high in salt din. And then, carbohydrates is also found in tapioca pearls. Although, okay naman yung carbohydrates, we can take in 2 to 3 cups of rice per day. Pero kung mag-add ka pa ng milk tea, several drinks for a week, then that might cause your blood levels of the sugar to spike. So how about coffee? So there are actually conflicting studies until this time, no? Pero most studies would say that caffeine can be passed on the placenta very quickly, which the unborn child could not yet metabolize, and high levels of caffeine may restrict fetal growth and result to low birth weight. So, ako, dinidiscourage ko na lang siya. As I said, cheat day na lang or decaf na lang yung gamitin, siguro once a week, kung talagang kailangan, or makiamoy or makisip na lang sa asawa or sa anak. Okay? And then lastly, yung alcohol in pregnancy, intake of alcohol in pregnancy is also discouraged kasi it causes low birth weight in babies. And then it also causes infant feeding and sleeping problems and behavioral problems later. And then there are also cases wherein they saw that this is also related to attention and learning disorders in the child. No? So, may mga lifelong medical problems kung heavy drinker din lalo yung mommy. Pero maski siguro light drinks lang, let's not do this anymore when we're pregnant kasi this can really potentially harm your baby. And as I said, the first 1,000 days of life is important. No? So kung nagkaroon na ng damage sa time na yan, pwedeng madala ng baby hanggang sa childhood niya or even into adulthood. So this is just to summarize all the things that we said, and maybe this can be posted para maging reference din yung Pinggang Pinoy. So yung mga iba't ibang nutrients na sinabi ko, essential nutrients, merong nutrients ng for going, which is energy giving, for growing, which is bodybuilding, and glowing, so body regulating. So more or less, yan yung dapat na kasama sa kinakain natin for the time that we're pregnant. Bawat isang sector, meron din like for males, for children, but we're concentrated now on the pregnant mothers. And kasi the mother should stay healthy and keep healthy kasi they should also be breastfeeding afterwards. No? We encourage breastfeeding already as much as possible, talagang no to bottle feeding. Almost all cases ng maski sabihin pa natin there are certain diseases o kung anong meron yung mother, we should still encourage breastfeeding. So, pwede naman yun. Kasi maraming nutrients na nakukuha ang baby sa mommy. And especially the first na labas ng gatas, maraming mga antibodies which the baby can get from the mother. So, all in all, I can say that if we have a healthy mother, then we will have a healthy baby. And siguro even um, after her delivery, the mother should also watch out for the proper diet of the children, of her baby and other children, para yung lalo na the female children will also be healthy mothers in the future. No? So parang ano yan eh, it's just a vicious cycle. It's a not vicious actually. It's a cycle wherein if we start right, then everyone will be healthy. So sa panahon ngayon, like kasi 'di ba may mga problem din of course with yung food that we have, yung iba mga canned, preserved. There are ways naman pa rin to get nutrients from those, or we can add na lang, let's say, leafy vegetables or things like that dun sa mga nairarasyon sa mga ibang pamilya o ibang mothers na mga preserved foods. Like, let's say, noodles, dagdagan nyo na lang ng malunggay leaves, uh, yung mga sardines, lagyan ng egg para maging sarchado, mga things like that. We can be creative and inventive at this time so that we can still get the proper nutrients that we need for the pregnancy. Okay, so I would like to greet everyone again a happy Mother's Day, and I hope that meron naman akong na-impart maski konti about a very broad topic actually. And so, yun lang muna for now. And
Uh,
you can ask questions.
yes, Doc. We actually have a few questions that we would like to ask you.
Yes. Mm-mm.
Now, we will be answering some questions from our viewers.
Yes.
Although, na-mention nyo na po ito kanina, I
Mm-hmm.
would once again like to ask because it's a very common problem for all mothers out there, yung morning sickness.
Yes.
So, can you give us again, siguro i-recap lang natin kung may hindi po nakarinig kanina, ano po ang mga remedies to alleviate the morning sickness?
Okay. So, usually, yung mga ganito, what we can do is to have small frequent feedings. Kasi we've noticed that if the mother will take in so much food, the usual amount of food that she takes during usual meal, mas nati-trigger yung stomach to parang push out all the food that she ate. No? So, mas maganda, small frequent feedings na lang. Avoid fatty and spicy food. Ganyan. And then, in between, she can also take yung mga ice chips. Yung mga preserved fruits also will help. Yung medyo more on the sour side. So, yung kunwari mga sampalok candy, that also helps. Pero pinapababad ko muna sa water para ma-wash off yung sugar and salt. Kasi medyo salty minsan yung pagkagawa ng iba. But the sourness helps a little to alleviate the feeling of parang nauseated ka. And then, avoid na lang yung sometimes kasi kakanose and vomiting, not because of the food that they eat, but because of the smell dun sa paligid. So, avoid na lang muna. Sometimes nga, there are women na yung sight of something, a certain type of food, would trigger already for her to vomit all the food that she ate. So, para hindi mangyari to, that time, pinapa-avoid ko muna. Sometimes, kasi usually, mga 6 to 8 or 8 to 10, yung ika 6 to 8 or 8 to 10 weeks naman nangyayari to. So, a short period lang. So, yung mga oras na yon, that's the time when I allow them to not be that strict in terms of a balanced diet. So let's say, personally ako noon, I just wanted to eat chicken sopas with milk. So yan na lang yung kinakain ko for that time that I was having this vomiting. And then afterwards naman, pag nag-wear off yan, makakabawi naman sila with the other nutrients. Basta importante is for them to to also have their vitamin supplements. And usually nga, I ask them to take the vitamin supplements at night. Kasi parang nagtitrigger din minsan yung mga aftertaste ng gamot. So it's better if they're really very sleepy and then they take it. Then after a few minutes, makatulog na sila. So hindi na makaka-trigger to
Okay.
ng susuka. Yes.
Yes. Thank you so much, Doc. Alam niyo po ba, I am so lucky. Hindi ako nagkaroon ng morning sickness. Kaya ako makarelate ng,
Mm-mm.
ng habang buntis na nagsusuka.
Oo.
So, pero
Oo.
very common problem.
Yes.
Now, since
Oo.
easy tayo ngayon at ang
Mm-mm.
mga activities ng mommy and daddy, baka gumawa ng panibagong baby, ang next na question ko is, how would you know and when would you know that you're pregnant? Can you give us a few tips?
Yeah, of course, if a woman is, let's say, on her regular monthly cycle, no, medyo madali na siyang magsuspetsya, of course, if hindi na siya nagkakaroon ng regla dun sa, let's say, mga short cycle kasi would be 24 days. The regular would be 28 to 30 and longest is around 35 to 38. So if within that span of time, hindi na dumating ulit yung menstruation niya, then magduda na siya. She can already have her pregnancy test. Pero usually, a pregnancy test kasi done right away might still be negative. So I ask them to take record of their dates of their dates of menstruation the first day, and then pag nag 1 week delay yan, pwede na sila mag-PT. Other signs and symptoms, lalo na pag hindi naman regular yung menstruation, if let's say they have a feeling of bloatedness dun sa puson, so parang may feeling of fullness, no? Minsan may feeling pa rin sila nung parang magkakaroon sila ng mens, parang may cramps but then wala namang lumalabas na regla. Meron ding tenderness sa breast, which is also similar to magdarating na yung mens. Pero usually when we feel this bloatedness and tenderness, after mga 2 to 3 days, lalabas na yung regla eh. But then if parang masyadong extended na siya, then that would also be a signal na pwedeng magkaroon ng pregnancy. In some women, may mga darkening ng some areas of the body, yung armpits, ganyan. Pero medyo mas late na to nangyayari sa majority. Pero meron ding iba armpits, tas sa leeg, ganyan. So meron ding mga iba na may early manifestation ng ganito so that they can also suspect na baka buntis nga sila, then nausea, vomiting, sometimes dizziness. Iba-iba merong antukin, meron din namang hindi. So, meron din masyadong hyperactive. So, it's really a variety of symptoms na mararamdaman natin when we might be pregnant.
Yes, ang hirap po pala. Kailangan pregnancy test talaga.
Yun talaga yung pinakamabuti. Kasi we also have cases wherein they all have these symptoms nandyan na. And actually, lumalaki na yung tiyan. Then, minsan 4 months, 5 months, kala nila pregnant sila, hindi sila nag-PT. And then, turns out na hindi pala. It happens, parang hormonal changes sa katawan, happens to some women who really strongly desire to get pregnant. We call that pseudocyesis. So, mahirap magtiwala din sa symptoms lang, sa pakiramdam. It's better to have that pregnancy test.
Okay po, Doc. Now, for my last question, I'm sure we have husbands here who are also watching our talk. Now, kung for example, reaching full-term pregnancy na po yung asawa nila, and in case of an emergency, what is your suggestion para po hindi sila mag-panic?
Okay. Syempre, as much as possible, di ba, ang sa amin, we say mag-birth plan, no? So, lalapit na dun sa, like ngayon, walang sasakyan, lalapit na sana dun sa kung saan yung pinaka nearest health facility where they can go to. However, kung talagang walang magawa at meron silang misis na kabuanan na, probably they should already have at least, kunwari, sterilized scissors at home. Although hindi talaga to ina-advocate namin pero let's say for emergency purposes lang, they have that sterilized scissors at home, siguro yung mga string to be for the cord dito if let's say talagang lalabas na yung baby at wala nang magawa. So at least may something sterilized to cut the cord, to clamp the cord, And then, dapat itatakbo pa rin sa health facility. Kasi recently, di ba, meron naging ganyan problem na nag-bleed ng gusto yung mommy and hindi na nakaabot sa admission sa different hospitals na pinuntahan niya. So, it's very important na merong din parang alertness or readiness sa bahay. Unang-una, kung nangyari yan, huwag mag-panic. Pahigain yung nanay, no, sa isang lugar na hindi mahuhulog yung baby in case may irina niya. Saluhin agad yung baby. Have something ready to keep the baby warm. Kasi yun yung very important. Baka mag-hypothermia yung bata. Yung inunan, usually it comes out naman by itself eh. Pero if it doesn't come out by itself, dali na agad sa ospital yung mommy. And pag hindi pa lumalabas ng matagal-tagal hindi naman sobrang tagal, say 5 minutes, hindi lumabas, medyo wag hilain. No? Kasi there are also reported cases na hinihila, they try to deliver everything para wag na raw dalhin sa ospital. But don't really try to do something na hindi naman kayo ganun ka-sure. Kasi meron ding disorders of the placenta which might trigger bleeding. Basta importante, na warm yung baby, safe siya, na-cut ng malinis yung cord kung kailangan talagang itie both ends para hindi mag-bleed. Pwede na rin actually sa bahay, kung lumabas na talaga, ilagay yung baby sa chest ni mommy at patidehin. Kasi usually sa hospital, that's what we do, EINC. Pinapalatch on na namin yung baby dun sa mommy. And actually, yung cutting of the cord nga, hindi naman kailangan magmadali dyan eh. Kasi they say that the baby gets more iron pa if you don't clamp the cord immediately. So, ang talagang kailangan lang presence of mind, huwag magpanic. And then, alagaan mabuti yung bata, i-warm siya. Dalhin din sa nearest, siguro, health facility center, kung saan may midwife afterwards, para ma-inspect ng midwife, ma-check yung midwife o ng doktor, yung baby and yung mommy. As much as
Okay po. Thank you so much, Doc. Once again, Happy Mother's Day to you.
Happy Mother's Day din sa inyong lahat.
Okay. Thank you for accommodating our questions and for being with us. And also to all our viewers, thank you so much.
Okay, you're welcome. Bye.
Now, before you go, also please support Araneta City's #TogetherWeHeal donation drive in coordination with J. Amado Araneta Foundation, Binibining Pilipinas Charities, and TicketNet, wherein you can pledge as low as 350 pesos to help hundreds of mothers whose families are affected by COVID-19 pandemic. Now, for more details, interested sponsors may visit www.ticketnet.com.ph. With everyone's cooperation, #TogetherWeHeal, and united, we can get through this health crisis. Thank you for joining us this afternoon, and the winner of our raffle prize will be posted in the Araneta City Facebook page on Monday, May 11, 2020. The Araneta City staff will be in touch with you on how to claim your prizes. Now, once again, if you want to join our raffle, all you have to do is to tag 3 of your Facebook friends who are already mothers at the #HeroesInTheCity, and we will be choosing one winner who will win a grocery pack. Now, that's it for now. This is just the first of our series of Heroes in the City online program. Join us later at 5 p.m. for another fun workshop and discussion. My name is Jill Ngo. I would like to greet all the mothers out there once again a happy Mother's Day. Thank you and see you later. Thank you so much, Doc. Thank you so much.